Now at T-Mobile, new and existing customers can get our best deals like the amazing iPhone 14 on us.
I love They upgraded me to a new iPhone 14 with its advanced camera.
Wow, it's a great photo. I can really see that you wore my shirt I said you couldn't borrow.
Oops.
Get iPhone 14 on us with eligible trade-in on our new Go 5G Plus plan. Only at T-Mobile.
With 24 monthly bill credits plus tax for well-qualified customers. Contact us before canceling to continue credits or credit stop and balance on required finance agreement due. Details at T-Mobile.com.
I know what that was.
I understand this. You answer this question which you put out there. What happens to the world if there's no America?
Right.
There is no substitute.
When America fails, and it will fail, what then?
Right. We got to make sure it doesn't. All right.
Right.
So listen. So Richard, we brought him in early just to say hello, and this way when we come back, we have the whole half hour to talk about your illustrious career, your new book, and your mission. It's the same mission of our audience. I'll let people know how special it is to be here. You hit lotto when you got here, but you have to show your appreciation and work to keep it here.
Hi, I'm Steve Kerr.
Hi, this is Stephen Curry.
I'm Clay Thompson.
I'm Draymond Green.
And you're tuned to KSRO, Sonoma County's home of the Warriors.
Golden State Warriors play-by-play action on KSRO is sponsored by Healdsburg Lumber Company, Sonoma County's building supplier since 1875. By Hudson Street Design, window coverings, cabinetry, fixtures, and more. And by Malm Fireplace Center. Malm Fireplace Center makes a house a home.
After a week of deliberations, a jury has convicted 4 of 5 Proud Boy members in the seditious conspiracy trial related to the January 6th attack. Prosecutors charged Proud Boys leader Enrique Tarrio along with 4 high-ranking members and accused them of plotting to forcibly stop the transfer of presidential power from then-President Donald Trump to Joe Biden in the 2020 election. ABC's Alex Mallon on the impact to other cases, including the special counsel's investigation into Trump's possible role.
If you think about the conviction for Tarrio, that's the government saying that a person who wasn't at the Capitol on January 6th could have incited his followers and also engaged with them in order to carry out this attack on the government. If you think about what charges the special counsel might be considering for former President Trump and his allies, these are people that were not at the Capitol as well.
Jurors in the case are still deliberating the evidence on charges for the 5th Proud Boy member that's standing trial. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
I'm Jim Chesko with your Money Now. Attorneys General of New York and California are investigating allegations of workplace discrimination at the National Football League. Letitia James and Rob Bonta say they have issued subpoenas to NFL executives as part of an examination into the workplace culture at the league's corporate offices in both states. This move follows lawsuits filed by employees who describe sex, racial and age bias, sexual harassment, and a hostile work environment. A Toyota-affiliated supplier is funding a venture that's developing a drone for airlifting cargo to hard-to-reach areas and disaster sites.
Red light camera ahead.
ProDrone is working on a flying mini-truck slated to carry 120 pounds for 35 miles. The duo will develop aircraft equipped with lithium-ion capacitors, miniature power storage devices offering fast recharging and discharging, as well as a long service life. Stocks are in the red today, led by the Dow Industrials down 265 points. The S&P's down just 16. That's your Money Now.
At Total Wine & More, save big on what you love this month with hundreds of deals. Get up to 35% off over 100 different wines and spirits, including Cabernet, sparkling wine, single barrel bourbon, and so much more. These savings are huge, and even better, they're on top of prices that are already the lowest in town. Deals this good don't last long, so visit Total Wine & More to find yours. Find what you love what you find, at the lowest price, only at Total Wine & More. Drink responsibly, B21.
I'm Rocky Moselle with StarRegistry.com. Since we were children, we've been told to reach for the stars. It was great advice. Now it's a great gift. Name a star after someone. For $54 and a call to 800-282-3333 or visit StarRegistry.com, we will name a star after someone very special to you and send an incredible personalized gift. The new star name will be recorded in book form in the U.S. Copyright Office. Call the Star Registry, 800-282-3333 or visit StarRegistry.com for the hottest gift.
KSRO.
Join George Adair of Cross Country Mortgage every Wednesday from noon to 12:30 for On Air with George Adair on KSRO. George helps you understand real estate and lending. Whether you're looking to purchase your first home or expanding your real estate holdings, George will help you navigate the world of home loans. George talks with community guests, covers local topics, and shows you how the larger world economy affects your bottom line each Wednesday from noon to 12:30. On Air with George Adair on KSRO.
Do you have heart failure and often hear,
"Those stomach issues ruined your birthday"?
"You're too tired to play catch, Grandpa."
Sweetie, you haven't touched your tools since the carpal tunnel syndrome diagnosis.
If these seemingly unrelated symptoms sound familiar, talk to your cardiologist and ask about transthyretin amyloid cardiomyopathy, or ATTR-CM, a rare and underdiagnosed disease that gets worse over time. Learn more at connecttoyourheart.com. That's connecttoyourheart.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
I'm KSRO's Dale Trucios with Sonoma County's most accurate, most dependable forecast. Partly cloudy today, a slim chance of rain in the early afternoon, high of 64 degrees, 55 along the coast. Wind speeds will be light inland, up to 20 miles an hour along the shores. Mostly cloudy for tonight, low 45. Partly sunny for tomorrow in the low 60s. Maybe some rain on Saturday. Temperatures, though, do stay the same. Depend on weather every 30 minutes. And FF News Talk 103.5 and 96.9 KSRO.
Mouth to your ears. It's Brian Kilmeade.
Who is Joe Biden's vice president?
I have honestly no idea. Ooh, great question. No idea.
What is it? Kamala Harris? Go say it. Can you name the 3 branches of government?
Republican, Democrat, and then I think moderate. Legislative, judicial, and consecutive.
So that is an example. We brought the microphones out. We asked people some basic things. You see it on some of the late night shows too. That was for Jesse Watershell, just about how little people know about what's going on in the news today, and certainly about history. Richard Dreyfuss with us now, Academy Award-winning actor and author of One Thought Scares Me. We teach our children what we wish them to know. We don't teach our children what we don't wish them to know. And Richard, great to see you in studio. And if you're watching Fox Nation, you recognize him from every film that was any good. So Richard, you were listening to that, and what did you just tell me? While you were
going to blame the kids and not really aim correctly, because it's what they're taught and what they're not taught. And teachers are not the guilty party, but it's the policymakers who say, don't teach that. And school boards, and you cannot blame teachers and then, of course, pay them like kitchenette. You have to really commit to an honest history. And when you do that, you have to live up to it. And that means every sin we've ever committed, and we have committed sins. Every sin we've committed, every grand gesture we have to have the same bragging rights for those as we have for telling the truth.
So if you just move a little closer to the microphone, that would make Eric happy. So Richard, I'm reading your book, and you talk about you're concerned people don't understand how great this country is. We never said you're perfect, but you grew up. You personally love reading history.
Yeah.
Love reading about our past. It's fascinating. There's no history quite like it.
Right.
It doesn't mean we walk on water and that Jefferson was perfect and that Washington never made a mistake. But the world is a better place because America exists.
Yes.
And you're concerned, like I am, that people might not realize that they'll live here.
Well, you had one day I was watching Denise D'Souza on Mike Huckabee, and he was saying that he had written a book called America, What the World Would Be Like Without Us. And I got up, went to the bookstore, bought the book, came back home, read the book, and then went grumpy because in his book, he didn't answer his title. He had named it, but he didn't
Are you
get anywhere
serious
near
right now?
answering it. So they called me that day, Mike, and said, "You want to come down and be on the show?" And I said, "Yes." And I walked in, and there was D'Souza, and he said, "What did you think?" And I said, "I'm very confused and frustrated because you had an incredibly provocative title. And I want to see that world because I think that would be an incredible history class. What would the world be like without us? Wow." But you didn't. All you did was say how great we were. You didn't compare it.
But yeah, I think if Dinesh D'Souza, I think in a way he's saying, look at how we changed the world by our existence, how many democracies had come from there, giving people a say in their government.
But you see, they don't know that there was a change, so that wasn't the thoughtful conclusion of their thinking. He didn't compare it to anything. He just described how great we were. And if he had compared it to any country, whether it was England or Russia or China or whoever, that would have been of some value.
Gotcha. So what do you want to get across to our listeners right now?
Well, a lot of things, but there was a revolution. And there's a revolution only when you turn the values of the entire world on their head. And that's what we did. We turned the power of the sovereign, kicked the sovereign out, and handed that power to all of the people. And that was not only not done, that was as revolutionary a move as you can possibly create. And we risked the nation on that idea that we could confidently educate our poorest and educate our most enslaved, and they would be smart enough to run the country, or to create art, or to create this or that. And they were out to create intellectual resource pools, and know that the people swimming around in those pools were all going to be smart enough to be president or senator or something, and they weren't ever educated that well. And I would say they tried to and gave it a good shot for a long time. And then after World War II, they said, "I don't think it's good to risk our children on this anymore," and they threw it away.
Who's they?
Educators and politicians.
And you write in your book that after World War II, it's our zenith. You know, we freed the world, we beat the bad guys, we led the world, and we rebuilt the places that we blew up.
That's right.
With the Marshall Plan.
And we didn't brag about it. We did it. We did good things, not talked about them. And all over the world, people admired us for all the right reasons. And before you could blink, they had removed civics, the study of the Constitution, the study of the Bill of Rights, the birth tale of America. These things had always been taught. And now they were not, they didn't disappear. They were turned over to social studies, which is one floor up and in the back of the building.
Yeah.
And they were turned from actual events in our history to a gentle panorama as a description of our way of life.
And I remember one politician came out recently and said, you know, America was never that great. You know, and maybe contrast to a president that said, make America great again. But what I always think is, people think when you say a country is great, it's perfect. And you make clear in your first words in your book, you never said that. But I think what makes us great, these are my words, is that we try to be. That we try to make it better. We identify it. One party identifies, another party identifies, and we try to make it better.
Right.
Slavery right? Absolutely not. Do we fight a war to fix it? Yes. Jim Crow terrible? Absolutely. Is there black and white water fountains now in the South? People telling go to the back of the buses? No. We owned up to it. Riots in the streets. It wasn't pleasant. It wasn't pretty. But we fixed it. And we, again, are still this country that wants to be better and better. And you're concerned that we don't understand that.
We don't want the same things we used to want. And I hope to God we relearn that ambition and relearn that goal. Because I have seen audiences acquire outrage on their faces when you describe what's happened. And they're outraged that their children are not getting what they should.
Well, they come back with negative things about us.
And I have seen those same parents have outrage disappear from their faces before they get to their car. And the commitment of making it work disappears. And what is that commitment? It's the commitment to the idea that Jefferson wrote that said that these people, we are the sovereign power in this country. We have the same power in collective as the monarch and the sovereign. Now, do we know that? Do we act on that? Or in some sick alchemic way, when we vote, and we're voting some guy in, he thinks he's been made our boss. And he's not only not our boss, but somehow we've got to get across to him. If you don't listen to your constituency, if you don't listen to us, who put you there, we will rip you out of that office so fast, would not blink.
Right.
And they are absolutely impervious to that because they know that we don't have the guts or the knowledge to do it.
So also, Richard Dreyfuss, our guest, you recognize the voice, of course. If you're not watching Fox Nation, you're not seeing him, but we're privileged to have him here. He's also got the Dreyfuss Civics Institute, a nonprofit, nonpartisan organization launched in 2008, aims to revive the teaching of civics in American public education to empower future generations with the critical thinking skills they need to fulfill the vast potential of American citizenship. It's up to all our responsibilities to do it. Now, amongst us, Richard, there's been some great presidents along the way that we didn't know were great at the time. Like, look at Harry Truman. Name me a top 5 category when they elect presidents. He's not great or near great along the way.
Right.
The guy's a farmer. You know,
right.
With everything of Andrew Jackson, the big pluses, but this guy is a self-made success story. He was basically an orphan by 13. No other country does that happen. It wasn't the ruling class of Jefferson, Monroe, and Washington, and Madison. Then all of a sudden you get an outsider who's president because he campaigned and he went to the people.
Well, there's a whole, you could create a list. Starts with Thomas Jefferson, and it ends somewhere in the 20th century. And it's the list of those presidents who happened to be in office when there was a crisis and every other branch of government was closed for the summer or closed, we've gone fishing. So that Thomas Jefferson had to create a navy to answer the Tripoli pirates, and Lincoln had to do what he did in order to respond to the Southern secession.
So, and I think it's so important too. Nobody would have predicted that Lincoln was going to amount to be this great leader.
Right.
Only in this country does it happen. And when you talk about Thomas Jefferson, this guy didn't want to get a platoon together to help fight the war, a militia together to help fight the war. But he ends up telling